Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Thursday, October 14th. Starting with the ASX here. I don't have any answers today for this. It's sort of got the better of me, and I'm trying to sort of figure out what we've sort of got here. I mean, it does seem that we've got some sort of support on the lows here. Obviously at 7.1 we've seen the market sort of holding at this particular point, so I'm trying to think about it in terms of being bullish, and the only way I can do that is look at this as wave 1 up here, and then an A and a B and a C for wave 2, and then up for 1, ABC for 2, then up for 1 and ABC for 2, and then sort of just cruising higher there. But we'd need the banks to go along with that particular play. The other thing that I find a bit difficult here is that this here is not the low on the cash market. So if I can just bring this up for a moment and just look at the cash market, the AXJO here, we can see that this is the low here on the 29th of September. So on the ASX200 we got this is the low from the futures market, so to speak. So we've got different things going on here, and I don't know if you could be able to sort of be with me on this thing, but from this point here down to this point here, that's all the same family, so to speak, because we've had that rally, and we've had a little rally in here. So in another way, but when it's been pushing down, it's got that distance is quite small. That one's a bit bigger, this one's a little bit bigger. These sharp drops here are all the same. They're all part of that same family. So we could look at this as like I'll just say an A and a B and a C wave down here. So we could be low here. Now this is being a little bit time consuming here. These rallies picked up reasonably well. These ones here this is a little bit sort of sluggish here. So I'm thinking this here, we've either got all of this down as some sort of, I'll just call it an ABC, all the same leg to that particular point. I'm wondering if we get another move, up here and then down again as well. So that's something that's on my mind. But I'm thinking, is this the low? Can we build from here? What does it look like at that point? So that's on the 29th here for that one. And over here, the 29th is on this low. So it's a bit hard to call this up for wave 1, when we convert it to the cash market. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I can do that. I could probably build it from this point, but then again, that's not the low over here as well, do you know? So I could just forget about that wave 1, we'll just pop that over there, and that wave 2, just get rid of that for a moment. It's hard to call the low in here because it's not the low, that's the low. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to put this one over here for the low because, it's a low on the cash, that's the low on the cash market. So it's a little bit tricky to work out which is what's what here. So I could look at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here, finishing here. Sorry, don't need that there. Finishing here for the B wave here. So a little bit of a tricky thing here. So if I remove this as well here for a moment, so we can count that as being positive to the upside in 5 waves, and we can look at that as corrective. We can also look at that as positive as well. So I'm wondering if we got some sort of C wave here for the B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C of B here, and we got one more move up here, and then it moves down at that point. So anyway, I'm just sort of, I just can't get the penny just hasn't dropped, and I don't feel secure in any of the accounts that I'm talking to you about. So when it's like that for me, then I just revert back to the trading levels. Okay, so with the trading levels, I I just go, well, okay then, what's the closest largest number? And that's 7.3. And the 300 is important because it's the top of group 1 of the closest largest number, which is 7,000, the largest number. And we are seeing support here, aren't we? You know, the market is holding up here, and it really looks like it wants to move up. The question will be, will it find support on the 300? Because if it gets a tested support on top of 300, then it stops being pulled down by the closest largest number. It separates it at that point. Because when we look at the cash market again, just shooting the breeze here a little bit, can we put in any minor levels? Yeah, that's okay. So on the 300 here, which is the minor level here, then we can see that it's, you know, it's really been all about this number here, hasn't it? When it's come down through here, it's sort of swung across here. So it's trying to find it. Will it find it as support and then then we can move up from that point? But if it can't find it as support, well, then it's obviously going to move down at that point, you know? So what I'm thinking it could do is it could suck us in. It could just have a little move up, right, and then fail to find support, and then really move down at that point, you know. But if it does find support there, then we need to be long at that point. So a little bit of patience is required to get this right, I think, because I mean, I just don't know the count. If you're confident in a count, well then, yeah, please send it over and I'll share it with the mob. But yeah, I'm just a little bit unsure. I can see that this wants to push up from here. So will it stay up there? So let's just imagine for a moment that it pushes up in 5 waves or whatever, and then it folds back. Well, that would be our setup over here. We'd look for a classic trading levels pattern, because we'd look at this as the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the ABC pattern. So if we have a look at that on our normal picture here, so we've got the arrival, the reaction. We're currently sort of here at the moment, I think. So pushing up here for that, counting 5 waves up here, that could take us up to 7,340 or something like that. But anyway, we allow that to, I mean, short-term traders can trade that, of course. But then we look at this here. I need to, I mean, as a from my setup, I need this full Monty here. I need to see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the ABC, and then getting support over here. We can go along above that top, or at worst, second best here, and third best over here somewhere. So we really need to wait for this to really confirm in the bigger picture that where we are with this. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern over here, and then if it pushes up, then I'll go with it, you know. So on the hourly chart, this is probably a bit messy in here. I've probably been scratching my head over it, sort of thing. So yeah. So what I was thinking is that you know, we could still be in the B wavy thing. I had the B wave over here, remember, but now I've got it sort of over here looking for some other A, B, C pattern here. So what I'm thinking is that I'm kind of including the spike, but I'm also sort of forgetting about it as well here when I'm counting this as an A wave here, an ABC for the B wave here, and then down for the C wave here in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then the B wave back up, and then the C wave down here. So anyway, a bit convoluted, but the thing here is that if we look at this move here now, we can see that this move is up here. We can look at that as wave 1 and wave 2 here. So this is wave 3 that wants to track a little bit higher here. Then we'll have wave 4 and wave 5. So they'll take us up. That level, this level is also important as well, because the 300 is the top of minor group 1 of 7,000. And this number 3 here, wherever you see a 3, it's going to be a part of a group 1 somewhere. So with this one here is 7,330. So we go 10, 20, and 30. So the 30 here, if that finds support, then that means that if we get a tested support on top of 30 here, it's okay to trade above it. That doesn't mean it's support. It needs to do the whole pattern at that, cross that level there. But if we do get support there over the next day or two, to, then support on that 30 means that the market's going to leave the closest largest number, which is the 300 here. So that means that we've got support on that level, and then we'll be heading up from that point. So I'm thinking we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fluff around above the 330 here, and then we'll come back down. And when we come back down to test it, then this will be our long trade set up at that point. Otherwise, this is the junction here, the crossroads, where it can pull back down through this point. So yeah, I mean, the other thing here too really is that we should, if I look at this as the A wave here and the B wave here, then we should get some sort of equality in terms of length here as well for this, you know, or at least 61.8% of that there as well. So just moving that there, that could take us much higher at that point. Otherwise 61.8% of that length would be okay. I won't go into all of that. I just want to track those 5 waves there. So really what we also want to see as well is that in a bullish market, we normally see Thursday as the bearish day in a bullish market with the bullish weekly cycle, which is on our website. You can read that. So in a bearish market, which we're kind of in the bigger picture, then we'd see Thursday as the rally days. So let's see if Thursday finishes this 5 waves off, and then Friday and Monday are the down days here in this case. If we see Friday strong, well then Monday's likely to follow through onto that. So if Friday closes strong, then we'll be in a bullish market again. If Friday closes weak, we're still in the bearish market. That's another way to look at all of this. So I have to use all those other tools because I don't know the count at this point in time. Alrighty, I'll leave that at that. Let's move on to the banks. So really, for me to be bullish in this market, I want the banks on side, and I use Commonwealth Bank as a bit of a keystone for the banks. It's 10% of the index, roughly speaking. But so yeah, I mean. This was down yesterday, but it was down on lower volume than the previous day. So that can be corrective. But either way, I either need a nice classic trading levels pattern sitting on the 105, or we need that top taken out. So we're kind of like splitting hairs here a little bit, but if the market moves up through there, well, then we're bullish. It may just move up here a little bit today, you know, something like that, but I'm not going to get sucked into that. You know, it has to clear that old high here, because you know this could just be, you know, this I could be right. I mean, I don't know about this pattern, but I do know that, you know, all of this can be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave right to here. So this could also be down for 1, back for 2, and down for, you know, coming down for 3 here for this. So that's what I don't know. So I have to wait. I just have to wait. But if that gets triggered here, then we're probably in some sort of bullish, in a bullish mode for the ASX200. Okay. That's what will happen. And then if that's the case, we're going to see resources be weaker at that point there as well. Okay, I don't think there's much happening with ANZ there. I mean, I can see that it wants to push up, but we want tested support on that 28 there for that. Rightio. So let's go and have a look at commodities. Just have a look at China first. So China's pushed up here. So we've started to look at this as being, this is just the A50, so the top 50 sort of stocks in a way. So yeah, all the stocks that got hammered from the Xi Jinping's whip, so to speak. But maybe all the punishment may be over now, and they can cruise along again. But yeah, okay, so anyway, we looked at all of this as being the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave down here for this, and we called the low in. We're starting to see a bit more now here, which is good. I don't think that's the C wave, so I'm going to remove that now. We'll start focusing on the upside here. We'll start pulling that apart. So yeah, getting a long trade in here and then adding above this level at 1650, because the 1650 is the ceiling, the floor, so there's definitely going to be some type of little correction across here, but as support then it nudges into the front line here, you know, into that supply. I don't think that trend line is going to give us anything there, is it? No, we're already past that. That's what all that was about, that consolidation. Okay, so India's pushing higher, so we'll just extend the count up a little bit, but it's not going to give us a long trade at this point, but you can trade it long if you want. So I'm going to go from this little wave 4 here, I'm going to put wave 5 up here, and then I'm going to look at this as 1 and 2 here, because it was a nice sharp little correction. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 in here, and 4 and 5 going up here a bit higher. So I still want to see the other side to this. So if we look at this as the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, I want it to play back over this side. So it probably won't do it, and I'll miss out and all the rest of it. But I can't just go long without a setup. No can do. I'll just tuck that in there. Oh, no, I've got to put it up high. This is probably, I'll have to check in that on the intraday, but we're going higher. So it's this first high up here that we're looking for. So I'll just remove these guys. So I want that high to come in and then pull back to give us a setup on this thing. So I'm not quite sure if that's the right count or not. Wave 4 is a bit small. Don't think I've missed anything in here. It's all pretty clear. So it's probably the best fit at this stage. So all we're doing here really is just looking for the classic trading levels pattern. So currently we're here somewhere. We need to push up a bit higher, and then we'll look for that fold back, and then we'll pick it up over here or here, depending on what's what. Okay, the commodities. So iron ore's first. So iron ore's down 6%. That's quite a whack, isn't it? So expected a reaction from the 800. That's quite a strong one. What we're really looking for here is support on the 800 here for this. So it's down on increasing volume. So we're going to see more of that come down. Now, as I've mentioned before, it's difficult to pull this into a impulse wave. There was an equal case that we could view it as a corrective pattern as well, as an A and a B and a C wave up here. And this moving down here quite strongly really sort of cements that in as an ABC pattern. But we'll just give it a bit more time, and let's just have a look at it. I just want to have a look at it from two perspectives. One is this one. So we don't want it coming down, because I know this move here was in 3 waves. We could look at it as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and that's okay. But taking the length of this one here and looking at the 61.8% is really where we want to see that market stop at that point. We could probably do the 78.6, but at that point it would probably look a bit bearish at that point. So yeah, so far we've got 3 waves down, I can see that. So we don't have 5 waves down, but if we do get 5 waves down here, then we're going to make new lows below here. So we'll just give this another 2 sessions, and then we'll have a look at the move down on the intraday. But obviously that's putting pressure on the markets. So that's going to see how that plays out today. But definitely we're going to see more weakness in the next session of that, because we've moved down. on increasing volume, not lower volume. So it's not corrective. If it was on lower volume, this move down, then we could consider it being corrective, but it's not the case. So it's probably our next step is to see if we get 5 waves within this move to the downside. Rightio. So the next one is gold. Okay, that's nice. That's pushed up. Well, that's Helen's going to be happy. So there we go. Well, that's great news. As you know, I was getting a little bit concerned about all this not looking right, you know. Okay, so I'll pull this apart later on. I need to understand where there's a little 1 and 2 in here and 3 and 4 and 5. But basically, you know, this 18 here is going to give this trend a hard time here. It will eventually, you know, it might sell off here a bit more and push up and do all sorts of weird things like this here, and we'll be here for a while. So make yourself a cup of tea and settle in. But good news. Good news. Okay. More silver's obviously pushed up as well then. Yep, so silver's pushed up. So still don't have that. I'm looking for a setup on the $23. Sorry, this is a CFD market, so it divides it into smaller increments, but 23 is the $23 mark. So we're looking for a classic trading levels pattern here, and we're not there yet, so I'm not going to worry about it just yet. Well, in about 2 more sessions we'll have that trade set up there. Okay, over to crude, as I mentioned, not really going to worry about it. It's just going to be sitting at the 80 here. It's going to be above and below the level for a little time. Probably that pattern there, those 3 bars at the $80 mark, major level, that looks bullish corrective, so that will push up a bit further. But we're not going anywhere just yet with all of that, so we don't need to worry about that. I did see copper's pushed up nicely, so I'm just going to rearrange the count here a little bit. There's 2 things that I need to do. I've gone back to my original wave 4 being in here. I know that's a bit of a long shot for having wave 1 here, but we do have an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here. We do have that in 5 waves. We do have that in 3 waves, and because that pushed up quite strongly here, I can see that it's got more to push up here, right? So it's going to push up further up into this space. Now, we can look at it as a B wave. We can look at this here as an A wave, a B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the B wave. But either way, we're still going up here higher. My triangle little pattern that was coming in here has pretty much been broken by that strong move. But let's just give it a bit more time. So, yeah, so back to the original wave 4 over here. I don't know how I can justify this though. I'll have to give that a bit of thought. But yeah, either we're 2 points here. We're going higher because this leg here is not finished. We're either got wave 3 over here or we've got wave B. I'm kind of going for the wave 3 business here. But the only weak spot in that is this little move coming up here, hard to count as 5 waves, but I'll go back in and check to see if I can sort of shove it and push it and work it in that way. But yeah, anyway, I need to do some more work on here, but certainly looking bullish as we stand. So I just need to have a look at the gas market while we're here. Let's have a look at natural gas, which is up a little bit. This is just a 1 hour chart here. The thing here is that from the top here, we've got, I can count that as 5 waves here. All you can really see here is this wave 3 and 4 here, and then down for 5. But then you can see here that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So from the top, we could look at this as an A and a B and a C pattern here. Which means that we can just, can that go up there? We can just push straight up from that point. That's one thing. Or otherwise we're going to be in some sort of triangle pattern coming into this wave 4 here. I mean, the whole thing for gas is bullish. That's not the problem. So wave 1 here and 2 here. And, you know, we're not even at this wave, intermediate wave 3 yet. I better bring that down a bit there. Don't want to get people too high on the gas. So 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're in this wave 4 here. I just don't know what wave 4 is going to be. That's the truth. I haven't really pondered it. Folks got ideas, please send me a chart. Yeah, I prefer a chart because I can read a chart. I can see what you're doing. If you text it all out saying, unless you label things correctly, then it's a bit tricky for me to understand sometimes. But yeah, if you want to have a crack at that wave 4, then please let me know. But in a general sense, this is all pretty bullish at this point, especially when we go above that little move there. If I go back to the, let's just try a 15-minute chart this time. So yeah, I'm just checking here because just wanted to check on that as 1 and 2 in here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave. So we've definitely got 3 waves here, right? Sure, we could go down again. You know, that could just pull back up to, that could just be 3 waves pulling back up to this retracement area. We're a little bit above that story, but we could be there as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming up to we're above the 61.8%, so we'll come up to the 78.6. So that's possible. But what we do want to see eventually is that if we can move above here, I should just use a straight line for that, shouldn't I? If we can move above here, and I've got to get rid of that, and that's okay. So if we move above that line, then we know that we're in a correction. Now it means that we could just continue to go straight up from that point. But it does confirm it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. It might lead us into, you know, the triangle pattern. So an ABC here, and then an ABC here so the A wave, the B wave, the C wave, the D wave, and the E wave, or something like that. So it could get more complicated. But the good news is that if it takes that high out here, then you know it's corrective. So that means if you're buying gas stocks, Santos, Woodside, or whatever, all that sort of stuff, then you know that your positions are going to be safe. It means that you just got to wait it out, whatever pattern that you're in. So that would be the first step with all of this. I mean, it's just that this didn't really trade with this here. I mean, this looks like an A wave here, and then an A and a B and a C up through here, with wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5. I don't get 5 waves here, you know. Maybe we could see this as an A, B, C, D, E here for the correction, then the last little 5 waves up to make wave 5 top over there. That's been on my mind as well. There's different ways you could probably look at it. I haven't really pondered it and sorted it out, but yeah, just taking that high out there would make all your gas trades in a safe environment at that point. I'll just put this back to the US dollar index, which is moving down, which is nice. So we'll look at that in a moment. So that's copper. So now we can have a look at the dollar index. Okay, so just get my bearings here straight. So going to go back to the hourly chart or so here. This is where my count was, right? So just get a bit more space in here. So in a nutshell, we had this wave, this green wave 4 here, okay? the green wave 4, and then we're looking for wave 1 and 2 here, and then we extended it out to 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then going up for 5. So that wave 5 here, a bit of a long shot here, and there is an overlap in this, but there's nothing I can really do about it. But I can see this is wave 1 here and 2 here, and we did talk about this yesterday, being this here 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, but I'm going to have to treat that as wave 4 even though it overlaps. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 5 waves up here to make wave 5 of 3 here. Whoops, a daisy, of 3. That means we're coming back for 4 here. That will come back to this wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. So that's where we can be at that point, with one more move to go to the upside here. Wave 5, 5 of C of 4 at that point. Now it can go higher, and that means we would have to rearrange everything and look at a bigger story, bigger pattern there. Can we have the top in here on this note? I don't know. Let's just see how we go, shall we? This should pull back from this low, this sharp little low in here, there to there, and 38.2% comes in right there. So yeah, that's all pretty much sort of spot on there for that. That's what I'm thinking there for that. So while this is pulling down, it's going to make the other guys, the other currencies, look a bit strong. So let's just check on the ASX here. As you know, I don't really know the count here with any confidence. I can see that it can be played out 2 ways. I never really got a nice 5 waves here, so I feel like we're sort of we're in a sort of a correction here, at least, you know. Let's just go to the hourly chart or something and just check on this, see if we can make heads or tails of this. But just before we go there, let's just check on this. So we're above the 61.8%. So that's a bullish thing. That's good. I think I'll just mark that so I'll know next time when we look at that from the daily chart. Let's just go to the hourly chart. Any good for picking that up? Okay, so we know we're above the 61.8% here. Let's just go in and have a bit of a look at this. This could be corrective or it could be impulsive. I'm just going to look at it for what it is. So that's have to be wave 1 and 2, and that's got to be the third wave, and this here's got to be the first wave then, and that's got to be the ABC pattern there. And this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but then that makes it too short for being a third wave here for that. So really we need to label that. And that's 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3, 4, 5. So that's the third wave there. This is the fourth wave there. Is there any overlap there? No, it's okay. And then 5 there. So there's a bit of space here. How far? It needs to make a new high above there, but of course it's going to struggle for a while. So we'll look for the top of wave 3. Then we're going to have wave 4 to pull back into this space, and then we'll have wave 5. So I'm thinking I'm thinking that just checking my work, bit dodgy there, but that's okay. 1 and 2, and you see how that third wave spikes up really high and comes back for fourth, and then we've got the fifth wave here. So some people call that a truncated fifth wave, but I don't see it like that. I see it a bit differently, but that's 1 and 2 into here, and 3, 4 and 5, and an A and a B and a C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all that to me is pretty beautiful. So what we could do is we could just allow this to play out here. So let's just allow this to do this, and then what we can do, there'll be a correction after that. If it's going to go up any further, where are we here? Yeah, well, that's the long trade at that point, and we may be able to get a better position back here. So first of all, it may be just 3 waves up to here. It could be an A and a B and a C wave to the 78.6% of that move here, and then come down from here. However, if we get this 5 waves up here, then we'll look at the ABC pattern here, and then we'll look to go long over here. We may be able to get a better setup and stuff. So we've got a couple of sessions here for this to play out. So we'll just keep an eye on that. I think that's a good move. We've got something to work on now. I mean, there's a case here for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. That's what sort of bothers me a little bit. Yeah, that's the price point that we want. 74.15 or 20 or something. Okay, well, I'll leave that there, and let's go check on some stocks. So we know that they're going to be bearish. So where's BHP here? So this is US BHP. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to we're just trying to see if we're going to get 5 waves up. That's the bottom line with all of these here. So we've got this little 1 and 2 here. And then we could look at this as a 3rd wave and a 4th wave here. And we still need the 5th wave up. So we need to get, what I'm looking for all the resources is 5 waves up here. But we don't have that yet. So I can't call the low in. If I get 5 waves up, we can call the low in. But otherwise I can't. So we're still in a rock and a hard place. It's not that we're going to miss much, you know, even if you see it move up here. Because if it moves up, it'll just be, you know, it'll just be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here, and then it's going to pull back 60%. Do you know what I mean? So then once we've got those 5 waves here, then we can just look at going along on the B wave, or we can pull back here and all those sorts of things. But, you know, I mean, this $50 here, I mean, yeah, I know that we're bouncing off group 1 here, 51, 52, and 53, but that's all it could be. You know, these big numbers are like magnets. You can pull this down here. I mean, it never really finished good from wave 4 here to wave 5 here. It hasn't really finished off in a nice 5 waves, but at the same time, this has bounced quite high here, where if we were looking down here as wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here, and then down for wave 3, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at that point. So that means that this current rally that we're looking at there should be up at 38.32%. Well, it is. There it is. So that means that that means that technically we should be making one more new low here for that. So we're not there yet with all of this, I'm afraid. We'll see how that goes. It didn't drop much yesterday, did it, for iron ore? I mean, copper was up though. I mean, that's one thing, but that was last night. It was China was open yesterday and didn't come down in the afternoon, so that's interesting. Okay, oh well, America, of course. We're Australian BHP here, so it came down a little bit harder. But the same thing here as well. As you can see here, we've only got 3 waves up. We don't have 5 waves up. We still need to get 5 waves up here. If we get the 5 waves, then we'll get an ABC back, and then we can go up at that point. But here we can just continue to move down. So that will be the same for Rio as well, and Fortescue the same as well. Where's Rio here? Rio was down quite strong. So once again, we've only got 3 waves up here. So from this high here to that low, I mean, in this case it's quite high. It's above the 50%, you know. And Fortescue would still be moving down quite strong if Rio's going down. So where's Fortescue? Down 4%. So we're definitely coming lower here then. It's on higher volume. So we can expect Rio to be at $13. Okay, so I'll call it a day on this video. Cheers.